Welcome to the Rusty Garage and Homestead. My name is Mike. Today's video, we're taking the Polaris Ranger XP1000 and the Fimco 65-gallon sprayer, and we've got a lot of spraying to do, from ponds to driveways to some new areas that we need to kill some stuff out. So let me show you what we're using. Okay, we've got the Fimco. It's filling up. This is what we're going to end up using. I'm going to dump 2.5 gallons of this RM43 in the 65-gallon tank. Some of the spraying, we're going to use the 4-foot nozzle. I'm going to shut both of these outside nozzles off and just open this up, and that covers about the width of the machine. Almost, not quite, but it'll do about 4 foot. Plenty enough for what we need. But I'm going to dump this in there, probably some Dawn dish soap. So the Dawn dish soap is basically going to be, well, I'm going to use it as a surfactant. You can go buy regular surfactant. What that is a chemical you put in your chemical that allows everything to stick to the leaves better, so it doesn't get washed off by rain. I don't have any surfactant. I use Dawn dish soap quite a bit because it works well. So that's just, I think it's actually a little cheaper also. It's more readily available because we got it here all the time. That's the reason for using the Dawn dish soap, just a surfactant. So while we're here, I think I'm gonna go ahead, what do we got? We're almost to the 30-gallon mark. There's 5, 15, 30, 45, and 65. So once we get somewhere right up in here, I'll go ahead and dump that chemical in. We do have a recirc on that pump, so it'll suck it out of the bottom and dump it back in the top, so that'll help mix things up. I just don't like putting the Dawn dish soap or surfactant or chemicals in it too early and allow it to mix the whole time, because it will create a lot of bubbles and you'll end up getting a lot of bubbles out of the top of that thing. So I always wait to the last bit. I always figure I drive this thing around enough with a chemical in it, it sloshes around, plus I've got the recirc I can open up on it to recirc it around, that it mixes up just fine. Okay, I lied. Don't have any Dawn today, so we're using Ajax. That'll be fine. We're sitting right about the 45-gallon mark. You can see there. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut the water off for a second so I can get this pulled out of here. I'll pull that cap out and we'll get everything dumped in. Until I didn't rinse that thing out. There's already a bunch of bubbles in there. The last thing I sprayed out of this was that same stuff. So I knew I was going to be spraying some more, so I wasn't real worried about necessarily getting everything rinsed as I should have. And this RM43 is not cheap stuff, but it does an awesome job. It's basically Roundup. If you want to kill anything and everything, this is the stuff that'll do it. We're going to make a lot of bubbles. That's good enough. I'll just try to stick this hose down in there where it's not being real turbulent to kicking up a bunch of bubbles. So that'll work. Let's finish getting it filled up. But this works great. The 65-gallon sprayer is quite a bit. I can cover a lot of ground and cover a lot of different things, especially like today when we're using the wand. I'm going to be spraying all them lily pads on the ponds. This, yeah, it really helps. This is a perfect size for this machine. And these nozzles, I know I don't want to use the outside ones at all today. So there is a on-off. See, it says on-off there. So now, whoop, I went too far. Okay, now you got off. Same with the center, same with this side. So now when I go to kick the boom on, we don't have to worry about it. We're just going to be spraying out of that 4-foot nozzle in the center, and that's going to be, we're going to spray a bunch of grass where we're going to put the new driveway on the new property. I just want to kill a bunch of it out, so that's about the quickest way to go through that and get it all sprayed. Okay, we're full. You can see it's above the 65, which is fine. I'm going to let this hang out here. Get that closed off. Okay, I think for starters, we're going to head down to the old pond and get the new lily pads that are coming up, get those sprayed, and I'll kind of tell you about those. Okay, so you guys can see, if you look earlier in the year, springtime, early summer, and look at any videos that were around the pond, you can see this whole area was covered. You couldn't really see any water in this area. There were so many lily pads and this mossy stuff growing. Same with the main body, all around the banks, about 20 foot out, 15, 20 foot out, all around was lily pads. Most of that stuff is still dead out there, but this in here where it was so thick, I think once we got those lily pads sprayed, and they died. There was a lot of these other ones, these smaller ones that were underneath the water still that didn't get any chemical on them. And I think once the other ones died, it just allowed them to grow better. So they started coming up to the top. So now, before we get into winter, I want to go ahead and get all this stuff sprayed so it'll get down in the roots and just hopefully wipe it all out and we won't have to worry about this again. But this whole area was covered with huge lily pads. These are all fairly small. So I think once we get all these sprayed, these little spots, another spot over here, but the main body really doesn't have any on it. There's a little bit right there. We'll get pulled up right over here and I can reach that with that wand. That is one of the nice things about the sprayer with this wand. I would like to add a hose reel to it at some point because I'm pretty sure you can get like a 50-foot hose on those. This is going to be around 20 foot, 25 foot. I don't remember exactly. It works. The wand can spray a good 20 feet. So having 20 foot of hose available helps quite a bit. So I'm gonna have this side by side parked right here and I'm gonna be able to reach most all of this stuff right out here. So let's get started and get this stuff sprayed. Now it does take it a minute. There's so much hose here. I normally spray till I can smell the soap that I put in it. But all these lily pads, they're sitting right up here on top of the water. And yes, this is fine for the fish, as long as you get a good little coating on it. This took, I want to say it was about a week when I sprayed late spring, sprayed all the lily pads that were on here. It took about a week, they all curled up real big and then they died. And odd thing was the cows actually went out in the pond and was eating a lot of them, which I kind of thought was strange. But right now I'm just watching where that's raining down on the water, making sure I'm getting all them lily pads covered. This will do good. This will kill them all. And it is September right now. I think I sprayed most of this stuff back in May. I don't know if you can see that. I'm pretty much spraying all the way to the other side. There's some moss growing on that edge, but this thing pretty much is fitting over there. We just want to give everything a nice good drink. The new property we got, that pond is covered with the lily pads. So part of this we're going to spray that pond with. So that'll be a good visual for y'all to see what this stuff will do for your lily pads, and it'll work on your cattails as well. Biggest thing you got to worry about down here is the water moccasins. They blend in really well. So haven't kicked any up yet, so hopefully it's cool enough. Okay, let's see if we can reach these out here. Oh yeah, hopefully it's picking up on camera. I'm fighting some tree limbs right above me. I can't arch it as high as I'd like to. Most of you guys will know what I'm talking about with that. And we've got a few more right up here. That's it. It just needs a little whiff and that stuff will die. Okay, that is one pond down. Let's go tackle the driveways where I've spread a lot of that 3-inch rock. I've got a lot of grass growing in on the sides. And basically where I've spread a lot of the rock, I've got grass growing. So I want to get all of that sprayed so we're not getting any more grass growing up in the driveways. And then we'll work on the new entrance and the new driveway where it's going to be. And then we'll head down to the new pond on the new property and get all those lily pads sprayed. When I'm spraying closer, I do like to have it more of a fan. All this Bermuda is just growing up in between all the rock. It's making the gravel area a lot smaller. The wand is definitely a lot slower than the boom, but you can still cover a ton of ground with this thing. So this is all that 3-inch we laid, and over on that side the grass has grown up into that rock probably a good foot already. But I want to get all of this grass sprayed away from this rock because we need to get some 1-inch brought in on top of this here soon to smooth this out, because this is rough. That 3-inch has made a good base, but it's rough driving on. Now we're going to go up by the shop where Dad parks. We're going to spray all around that because I dug a lot of that out, put gravel down. We've got a lot of rock or a lot of grass coming up in the rock now. You can see all this is gravel. here recent, and it's all grown grass. So let's get it all sprayed. Crazy, it hadn't been that long since we put all this rock down. We got all this grass growing up in here. Something you really should be doing is wearing some sort of goggles when you're spraying this stuff. This ain't the best stuff you'd want to get in your eyes. I think any of that chemical is probably real good to get on you. When y'all's wanting to spray and kill pretty much everything, what do you use? Do you use just Roundup or RM43, or there's something else that's cheaper? That RM43, it's pricey. It's about $170 for that 2.5 gallon jug, but it works good. It pretty much wipes out anything and everything. There's going to be either just bare rock here or bare dirt whenever we're done. Okay, next we're going to start working our way up the driveway, and I'm going to kick the boom on because the new driveway, you can see kind of where that shadow is from that elm tree. The new driveway is going to go kind of straight towards that semi-trailer and then curve. So I need to make a couple swipes down and back, too wide, to kill all that going up towards that semi-trailer, and then we'll turn in and go up towards that entrance. Yeah, we're gonna have to get to spraying because the tank, I don't know if you can see, we're still right up here. We've sprayed all that. Maybe I mixed up a little too much. Y'all let me know if I did or not. So we have decided we're going to make the entrance close to 60 foot wide so we can get a truck and big trailer pulled in comfortably, and we're going to be about 60 feet off the road before we end up to a gate. Me and Dad both were wanting an entrance where we could pull truck and trailer in off the road and not have to worry about anything hanging out in the road or parking out on the road. So I'm going to go ahead and get a lot of this area up here sprayed. We're going to end up putting 3-inch crusher down as a base, and then we'll put some 1-inch washed rock on top. That was a tongue twister. But let me go ahead and get a lot of this sprayed. Then we're going to spray the old driveway, and we'll head down to the pond on the new property. I guess I can kill the boom. Don't need that going. That'll help. Okay, I think that's most of the entrance. The old driveway, let me show you it real quick. So you can see, this is it, covered in grass. There is actually gravel that goes clear out to over here. So we're going to get all this sprayed, and then I'm going to work my way down the driveway, kind of where this old U-Haul's parked, spray on it, both sides, and work down to the old trailer, following the old driveway. Just because I want to try to bring some of this rock back. And the whole front side of this trailer is covered with gravel and grass, but we're going to get all this sprayed, all down through here. Try to get a lot of this to come back, probably spray up by the trailer, because I don't plan on weed eating any of that, but all out through here. I know you probably can't tell, out past that trailer. There's gravel all through here. So with any luck, we'll get that brought back. This property does have a lower driveway, which was never used because it's way too dangerous. It's at the bottom of the hill. And the 3 different people I've known that lived here have never used that driveway. But I'm gonna go ahead and spray that driveway anyways, just to see if there's any gravel that will come back on it. But this is it. So here's the trailer. Lower driveway goes right up through here. So there used to be gravel here. I'm gonna spray it. But like I said, we're going to end up ripping that tin horn out, and they put a bunch of rocks in the ditch for whatever reason, I don't know. But we'll end up ripping that out and putting a fence down there. But this might be a good place to park trailers. So let me reposition the side-by-side, and we'll start up here by the road and work our way back down towards the trailer and the bottom driveway. Poor old Kubota looks like it's seen its better days. Now they are pretty much selling anything and everything out here. The semi-trailer, that U-Haul, the tractor, they've got a stump grinder and a chipper. Pretty much everything's for sale. They kind of just want to wipe their hands of everything and yeah, move the past behind them. This actually used to be a pretty nice little place over here when it was kept up with, when people lived here. But it's been a long time since that's happened. Y'all leave a comment, let me know how you think the Fimco 65 gallon sprayer's doing. We're still got 45 gallons left. Yeah, that's crazy. It goes a long ways on this. Okay, I think I'm gonna move the side by side over to this side, so I can get this side of the semi-trailer and all around the front of the trailer. Then I think most of this driveway, old driveway that I can reach anyways, is going to be done. So yeah, I'm curious to see what it's going to look like here in another week once all this stuff really starts dying off. Hopefully a lot of the gravel comes back. If it don't, we'll haul some more in at some point, but I don't know exactly how I'm going to set everything up over here and what we're going to do. So we are almost done up here. I've got way too much spray left. I'm gonna have to find another container to put it in. That stuff costs so much, you don't want to just necessarily dump it. There's gravel all the way to where I'm standing. I remember it came up here quite a ways. So pretty much the entire length of the trailer house, there's gravel. And I do remember where they had 2 cars parked too wide and still had room to drive another one through. But there's so much grass you can't hardly see all that. Let's see how much chemical we got left, and then we'll head down to the pond. We're sitting about 35 gallons or so. Not quite half. Telling y'all, 65 gallons of spray goes a long ways on something like this whenever you're spot spraying or having the little boom on, the little nozzle. We're down by the pond. You guys can see this thing is covered with lily pads. That's how the old pond was looking earlier this year, and this RM43 did a real good job getting it all sprayed. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything stretched out and try to spray everything I can. For right now, I'm not going to be able to get all of it because I can't get on the pond dam with the machine, and I don't have enough hose, and same with that direction. So we're gonna try to just spray everything that we can reach, and hopefully it'll spread into some of the others, and once we start getting some more of the stuff thinned out, we'll get some more of that stuff sprayed like they're on the backside. I'm more worried about snakes on this pond than the old one, mainly because you can't see, and 2, nobody's really ever down here, so we'll definitely try to pay a little more attention. I'm able to get quite a ways out there. A lot of frogs in this pond. Lily pads they're awful. They'll take over in a hurry. The old pond, it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago when we first seen the first ones pop up. Didn't really think much of it, but then, you know, through the year they grow, and then every year they seem to multiply even more. But we're gonna get these taken care of. They ain't doing us no good. More than likely we'll have to spray on this a couple times to get it taken care of, just like the other pond. I'm curious to see what kind of fish is in this pond anyways. And this spray, I know there's probably somebody gonna think that this spray is gonna hurt the fish or anything like that. If you look at these sprays, there is instructions on them for how to mix it, spraying and waterways and different stuff like that. So most of the spray is designed where you can use it around or in water. I sure wish I could get closer. That whole side over there needs it. There's so many trees over here. It's a mess down here for sure. Okay, I'm gonna move the machine over, hopefully. Everything's on this steep hill, so it's kind of making it a little difficult. I'm gonna try to move it over so I can walk over in there a little bit and try to get a little bit more over in there. Normally snakes don't bother me a whole lot. I keep feeling these weeds and stuff rubbing up against me, making me jump a little. Oh, this is a mess to try to get through. I think it may be best just to come down here with a chainsaw and start dropping these things ground level and hopefully get tiny in here. Probably have to put the backhoe back on so I'll have some ballast since I'm be going facing downhill. Pick all this stuff and try to drag it back up, start getting this thing opened up. I'm getting on some of it going through these vines, but not as much as I'd like to. Okay, that's probably gonna be about all we can do for now down here. Start getting some of this opened up. All right, everyone, I think this video is definitely going to be long enough. Man, I was really wishing I could get more of the pond, but I know I can't get on the pond dam right now, and I know I can't get around that edge, and it looks like that's about where it's the thickest, is over on that side. Oh well, we'll get something figured out. Once we start getting all this opened up, we're going to end up spraying it again. But we'll come back here in another week or so you can see the progress that it has made. Same with up around the trailer and the driveway and all that stuff, because all that stuff's going to die out pretty good. So this is going to work out pretty good for us still. And that sprayer does a fantastic job for me. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, it works great for stuff like this, getting in tighter areas, hills, stuff like that. Pretty much where that side by side will go, you can take that sprayer. And you guys seen how much was left in it. We'll look once we get up at the top of the hill and see how much we've used, but we're still going to have about 30 gallons of that stuff left, so about half of it. So I'm going to have to find a container, barrel or something to dump that in, just so we'll have it, because I don't want to waste it. It's way too pricey. Let me get on the side by side, pull it up, and I'm going to back down that trail and see if there is a hole or anything over there that I can just spray a little bit more, just so we can try to get some more of that gone. Don't know if we're going to be able to or not, but let's try. I know the camera looks like it's crooked, but I promise, camera's level. It starts getting a little tight right up here. Oh, there's a tree. Okay, I think what I just need to do next is I still ain't made it to the northeast or northwest corner of the property, and the side by side's way too big to get up in through there. So I think probably gonna end up getting on the 4-wheeler, maybe grabbing the little saw, the top handle, or the 170, and we're probably gonna end up blazing us some trails in through here pretty soon, so we can get around more, because I want to be able to drive the side by side around. It's tight. We're going to end up bringing the dozer in here at some point and clearing some more, but for now I just want to get some trails opened up. So I think that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys in the next one.